Tonight, we conclude our two-part Target 3 special report, Journey of Hope.
At 6, we introduce you to Walter Hofeld, a man who was drafted into the German Air Force as a teen in World War II before being captured by the Russians and sent to a prison camp in Siberia. Well, his long journey eventually brought him here to Wichita Falls.
And Katie Crosby joins us now with more on the story.
Gwen, when we left off at 6, Hofeld and other German troops had fled to Czechoslovakia as the Russians advanced west. They were captured and put on a forced march, then packed into train cars for the trip to Siberia.
When I was a prisoner, I prayed every evening and every morning.
What did you pray for?
To get home again, and for the Lord to help my people at home and all those poor guys around me.
The prisoners were loaded onto Russian trains, 100 men to a boxcar.
And you lay rust on top of that, and our guy behind me is flying behind me. And I mean, like sardines. You can't do it. I can't. I couldn't do it, and most people could not. So.
After about a month in those cramped, awful conditions, they arrived in a prison camp in Siberia. Hofeld says when the train arrived, he was a frail 115 pounds.
I had left and right, they had to help me lift up. And it took me a long, long time to get back on my feet. But even in this unbelievable situation, I never, ever thought, hey, I'll never get home. I never did. I never totally give up hope.
There was very little food, sauerkraut soup and Russian rye bread. That first winter, Hofeld says more than 300 men died.
They wanted to break you down where your conscience just is not there anymore.
Prisoners were forced to dig graves in the frozen ground and bury the dead.
But there were always these guys with that gun standing there. Bystre, bystre, bystre. That means sneller, sneller, sneller. Bystre. I mean faster. And they put that guy in there and he didn't fit in there. They broke his legs and flipped it over and put dirt on it. This is almost unbelievable. I know some people don't believe it's possible, especially the young ones. But I want you to know I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. I know how that all started. But I also know one thing. To really explain what was going on is hard to do. These wooden things we were laying on, we didn't have a blanket or nothing like that. The only thing we had plenty of were body lice and bugs, what they call bed bugs here. They were all in this wood. They loved me.
Hofeld says there were occasional bright spots, kind gestures from his captors.
The people who go to war, who do all the shooting and killing, no matter where they come from, at one time of their life, they will realize this guy is just the same as I. He is just put into a situation where he can't do anything else.
One prison camp moment is forever etched in Hofeld's heart when he went to visit a dying friend.
You'll never see him with, even as a prisoner, a little bit smile on his face. And went to see him, he laying in that thing there. I think they even had a pillow, but nothing else wood, you know. And he wanted to go outside. It was a beautiful day. Not a cloud. Not too warm, just right. The sunflowers were blooming on the other side of the hill. It was early in the year. All this beauty didn't make any impression on me or all the men I was with. He wanted to go outside and look at this beautiful sky. And you know, he was so weak. We dragged him out, one on each side. And out there he looked at this beautiful sky, and the teardrops were running down his eyes. But he was smiling. He was smiling. And then we took him back in. On the next day, after about 4 o'clock or what, I went there again. And he wasn't there anymore. He was already buried.
Prisoners were occasionally allowed to write letters home, many times with a 24-word limit. Hofeld's mother saved all his letters.
Auch bei mir ist alles in Ordnung. That we soon be all together again at home. With love, Walter.
Then in September of '49, after more than 4 years in prison, Hofeld and the other German prisoners were given showers and clean clothes and were finally released. On September 29th, Hofeld reunited with his mother and sister in Germany.
Oh my goodness gracious, we never stopped hugging.
Hofeld hadn't seen his family in 7 years. One of his brothers had died in the war, the other had been wounded. Hofeld fell in love with a woman named Margaret. They married in 1952 and decided to move to America. Margaret's grandfather had a sister, Mrs. J.J. Lane, who spoke highly of a town in Texas called Wichita Falls.
We got rid of everything we had, packed our suitcases, and went to America.
Leaving their homeland for a strange place called Texas with nothing but what they could carry, but very happy about it.
You have to live it, to know it.
Hofeld worked for Ebner Brothers Packing Company for 17 years. In 1971, his wife fulfilled a dream when she opened Margie's Sweet Shop.
These people here treated us good all the time. From the beginning. That's especially these people on this type of world. They're friendly. I don't think ever anybody held it against us to be in the German army. From the first day, never.
But he still thinks about it.
It's an awful thing we will never live down. We live never, that will stick with us forever.
Sometimes in the middle of the night, Hofeld is haunted by memories.
That's when those things come back to you. But you know you have to bury them sometimes.
And ultimately, Hofeld still has hope, like he always has.
There's a lot of people here, they know they'll rather have peace. They want to raise their family. But they pray just like I do, most of them, that the day will come where they won't have this kind of stuff anymore. And my kids and my grandkids, I want them to know I love them more than anything. And this thing was happened. I didn't have anything to do with it. It's just because I was there. I heard the things I had to do, and I have not the feeling I did something real bad. I did never even shot at soldiers. I shot at these airplanes. Have I shot somebody down or not? I don't know. I don't know. And I never will know. And that is just the way it is. I love them. I hope it never happened to them. And their kids.
Walter just celebrated his 90th birthday. He told us he was a little nervous about sharing his story because he's always afraid someone will hold it all against him. But he says the people of Texoma have always been very open and accepting of him.
I can understand how you feel that. I knew Margaret years ago and Walter at Margie's Sweet Shop, but I never knew this. It's an incredible story.
Special people,
Amazing
incredible story.
isn't it? All right, Katie, thanks. And that Target 3 was shot and edited by our chief photographer, Rick Scruggs.